Hi everyone, I'm here at Abweh Strength with Duffin and his whole team behind me.
You're starting.
And Brandon, who's talking the whole time.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely improve that.
I've been having a lot of troubles with my squats. If you have ever watched my videos, I always have something wrong with them, whether it's knee pain, back pain, problems hitting the hole, ankle flexibility, all that stuff. So they're going to break it down for me, and we are just going to see what's basically wrong with me. And yeah, without further ado.
All right, that's it. We're going to walk through our process. I got Brandon and Derrington here backing me up in case I get in trouble, because I've heard she can be a little tough. So, you know, I brought some backup to handle it today. So, all right. So we're just going to start by looking at the squat. So let's get to it.
Let's put out the bar.
With bar.
What's your best squat?
When I was heavier, it was 300. Now that I'm lighter, I think my best I've ever did was 260. So high bar or low bar?
Whichever you normally do.
You can adjust that bar height too.
That's okay. I can do high bar and then switch to low bar. I step on my toes.
I think one thing that we probably want to get a baseline on before we go is where you think you need to improve the most in your squat. Either from a technical standpoint, from a pain management standpoint, what do you think the biggest priority is for you right now?
Well, when I squat, especially when the weights get heavier, I tend to go back and good morning the weight.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's just because of lack of flexibility, ankle flexibility, or it's because some technical problems, like I'm not activating my quads, or bar path. And what else, Coach?
I've been coaching for 2 years. So I want to jump in and say this. She struggles the most out of the hole. Like, she just loses all tightness. She's strong at the top, going down, halfway point. Pretty good lockouts, but in the hole, she just kind of collapses in herself, loosen up, her knees buckle in. She just has no rebound of the hole.
Okay. I'd like to also see the squat without the shoes and socks. So.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is like her feet are moving the entire time while she's squatting.
Yeah.
She's not rooting properly.
Yeah, looking at that squat right now, it doesn't appear that flexibility is your issue.
No. Okay.
No.
Flexibility.
No, I would say we actually need to get some stiffness in the right areas appropriately.
There's a continuum of mobility and stability, and oftentimes issues that are stability issues can be perceived as mobility issues and vice versa, but you appear to have plenty of mobility to execute a squat.
So
Probably have
something-
some low-hanging fruit,
Yeah.
some bracing.
Yeah, bracing, hand position for lat looks like an opportunity. The disconnect, you guys see the break in the shoulder to the floor before each rep.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh man.
This will be a good tell if your ankles are an issue or not.
Mind if I start, Brandon?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, we've got a break right at the beginning around the bracing strategies. So, you're doing a lot of forceful activity, but we're not necessarily netting what we want to from that. So, you're taking it. I'm going to teach you to practice doing this with actually out breathing to help, break some of that down. And the other is you're raising up in the shoulders and kind of breaking the connection from here to here as well at the same time. So we're gonna have you do, which I'll let you do, you want to just work some 90-90 practicing the bracing without breathing, and then we'll work back into squatting. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's have you come on the bench.
So this, like that everybody doesn't necessarily net what we want to accomplish. We want to cue the diaphragm. It's actually going to drive down and push against like all the organs in here, which then creates the pressure. You can do that without breathing. And so if we kind of break that down, it can be better to work back in working those together, because obviously you do have to breathe or you're going to die. So, but the sucking the air in doesn't have to be part of your bracing strategy.
Okay.
And part of that is causing you to break some of that kinetic chain right up front. So we're not getting optimal bracing. So we're going to start there. There's a few other things that we saw already. So Brandon's going to walk through.
So let's have you on your back on the ground with your feet up on the bench. Here it works. Then we'll have your actual like calves up here, so your feet are all the way up. Scoot just a little bit closer. Bench is almost too high, but it'll work. So one of the reasons that we like to start in this position is it's remedial. So this position, we don't have to worry about tension in our hips, tension in our upper body, unless our T-spine's like really jacked up, then we might have to prop your head up. But this is going to be a really good position to actually learn how to use the musculature and the systems involved in bracing without actually having to be under load and tension. So what we're going to start with is we're going to have you take some breaths like if you were to squat. Okay. We're going to do one more.
Perfect place to set up. I like it.
So one thing that we're going to try and drive home today, Chris started to talk through this, is we don't want to rely on the passive air that you're taking in to be the primary thing that's stabilizing you, right? We want it to be something that's stabilizing you, but we don't want it to be like the one thing. So the one thing has to be our lean tissue, right? We need our musculature to actually stabilize load through the system. So and then the air is only going to be like the last maybe 10% of that stability that you get. You might find today that once you're going, it's even more, it's probably not going to feel more natural to do this today. It's going to feel a little bit weird, but once you start doing it a little bit better each time, you'll probably find that you don't actually take in as much air because you just don't need to. Mm-hmm. So what I want you to do is pull your shirt up just a little bit so we can see what's going on. And a lot of time we can see dysfunction like in the diaphragm or in the areas primarily involved in bracing, right? Bracing is a systemic thing that happens, but we primarily focus on our core simply because there's not that much structure there. So all we have is like our spine, right, connecting, whereas through the rest of our body we have a lot of bones and structure to actually support more of the load. So what I want you to do from this position is first relax, like completely relax, holding no tension. And now from this position, it's like perfect. You're at my height.
It'll make some good video. It'll make some good video anyway.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna coach you through it first, and then we're gonna poke and prod depending on where we see the biggest area of opportunity being. So the best way we can liken this is when we have a weight belt on, right? We want that 360 degrees of pressure. A weight belt's really easy because it's an external stimulus that we can put on to do it. A lot of times though, it doesn't really program us correctly, right? So it's a way for us to hide issues because we can just push out into it. We can take a lot of air in and kind of puff ourselves up and we can get some tension there, but we're not actually using our structures to brace, and that's what we're going to learn today. So what I want you to do from this position is relax, okay? And I want you to push your stomach out as far as you can. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's like the exact opposite of what you want to do for Instagram, right? So in this position,
don't worry, we're only filming it, so it's caught in eternity.
It's an educational piece.
It's okay. I usually do this anyway for Instagram.
So one thing we're looking for when she does this is for any irregularities in the structure, right? So we're looking for areas that are expanding more than others. We're looking for areas that might have slight concavities in there. And we want to see like the activity of the abdominal wall, right? So we want to see how your abs are flexing, if they're contracting down really hard, if they're sucking in, and we're essentially trying to create a baseline from this, right? So what do you think, Chris? I'd say that I would move on to like a dead bug.
Yeah, I would. That looks pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go to a weighted version.
Okay.
Does that sound
Yep.
good? You want to grab one of those broomsticks there? So we're going to have you take your feet off of there. And do you know what a dead bug is?
Isn't it like this or something?
Yeah, we'll walk you through it. So, all right. So in your squat, I don't know, you may or may not be aware of it, but you're very extendy, right? So your everybody, when they train with any kind of load, has an internal strategy that they go through to stabilize and to transfer energy, right? So we don't want to say that one strategy is wrong, one is right. There's so many different styles of squatting, right? And people can do them very effectively if they can do them consistently. Sometimes we can't do them consistently, and it's in that variability that we see issues in injuries or even strength being limited. So what we're going to do is we're going to determine, if that extension is really the best strategy for you. Whenever we coach this too, we tend to have like a baseline model that we push people towards, right? And our baseline model is this stacked position. Some people can get away with other strategies, execute them really, really well, and it's not like our base model. So if you guys look at like Ben Pollock's a really good example of this, of someone who actually takes a bracing strategy completely different than what we teach it, but he's able to integrate that into his whole system and do it really, really well, that he doesn't have those variability issues.